Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Wacky Wednesday live session where we talk about self-publishing and I answer your questions live. So my name is April Cox. If you don't know me, I am the founder of Little Labradoodle Publishing and the creator of Self-Publishing Made Simple. And we're streaming here live on Self-Publishing Made Simple with YouTube channel. I also have a few people here with me live on Zoom. So if you are watching this on YouTube and you want to join us here, you can go to aprilcox.com/events, EVENTS, aprilcox.com/events, and it'll redirect you to join us live on Zoom. Regardless of whether you're here with us live on Zoom or you are watching on YouTube, you can post your comments or your questions on self-publishing topics, and we're going to spend the next hour or so together. So go ahead and do that. I just want to start with opening up saying you may not be thinking about Christmas right now, although it is Christmas in July, right? You know, I love the Christmas in July stuff. And so I have some like freebies and things that I'm going to be sending out to people just like for fun, Christmas in July, little gift packs and things like that. So I will share that link with you guys for those of you that are interested in grabbing some little free digital little Labradoodle books. The other thing is that I've been managing some ads for some of my clients, and I'm starting to see Christmas phrases pop into ads, and people are actually making sales for things like "'twas the night before Christmas" and Christmas terms like children's Christmas books. And I was like, what? It's Christmas. Yeah, it's Christmas in July. Could it be that the Christmas searches are already starting for your books? And the reason I mention that is because it is time to start thinking, if not now, within the next month or so, on making sure that your books are positioned, that the gift searches and things like that that your book is going to be ready. And if you're not quite sure, or you would like to start running some Amazon ads to kind of make sure that your books are indexed and things like that, then I am running it's a work group, an Amazon ads work group. It's usually an 8-week work group where I do some training and then we do hands-on stuff. We meet once a week, and it was 8 weeks, but because Christmas is coming so shortly after that, I've actually extended it for 12 weeks so that everybody that works with me during this work group will work at bringing their books and all of the search terms and things like that up to the point where things are working, and leading up to Christmas, they feel really confident with their ability to manage their ads, their keyword performance. So we don't just learn how to create the ads, but we learn how to also make sure that they are optimized and that we manage and adjust our ads accordingly. So you'll get some hands-on experience. If that is something of interest, I have a few slots left, and I'm happy to share and post a link about that as well. But I couldn't believe it when I saw Christmas terms showing up and converting into orders from one of my author's Christmas books. So anyway, I thought I'd open up with that, and also just open up for those of you that are here with me live. Do you have any questions or things that you want to get onto the agenda? So feel free to go ahead, take yourself off of mute, or you can comment in the chat and I'll follow along with that as well. What is going on in the self-publishing world with my friends here today? I'm going to check also on YouTube.
April, I'll ask a question since nobody else is talking.
Yeah, go ahead. Hi, Karen.
Hi. I just signed up for the class yesterday.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Um, Thank you. And so are you going to help us? I'm hoping you're going to help us like with fine tuning because I'm actually taking Dave Chesson's free class right now. It's
Yep.
online. And
Mhm.
I was thinking, oh, just do that for a while, but then I thought it's going over my head. So I thought I'd rather get April's help but so is that what you'll be doing? You'll help us with the fine tuning with keywords
Absolutely.
and things like that?
Yes, that's the whole goal behind this work group where yes, at the beginning I'm going to be showing you like an overview of like, hey, this is what the ad dashboard looks like. This is what you can do with it. But and I'll teach you how to create your ads. I'll show you and then you guys will get to do it and we'll get to share screens. But yes, it's all about learning how to navigate through it, learning to create ads, and then learning how to manage them to a point where you can get your ads, make your ads smarter as they go, and continue to improve, adjust. And by the time Christmas, September or so comes, I want you guys to feel really comfortable with doing your ads, and we'll continue to help get them even more and more productive. So
Okay.
first it's just about visibility, and then it's about, okay, now I'm visible and my ads are converting to sales. How can we get more sales for less money? And I'll
Right.
show you how to report and to determine whether your ads are productive. Are you making money with your ads? Should you go up and increase your ad spend? Where should you pull back? All of those things. It's open Q&A
So
to
like
go through
learning
that.
how to understand the analytics and that stuff.
And it's even, yes, and even more than that, we'll actually walk through adjusting them. I see Victoria, your hand is up. Did you want to share
Thank you.
some insights or experience with the ad class? Because I know you've done it as well.
You're on mute.
Victoria, you're on mute, my dear.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to say that I started with Cohen. What's his first name? I
Brian
say
Cohen.
Brian
Mhm.
Cohen. And I did the Cohen thing, and oh my gosh, it was like, oh, I had like he wanted too many ads going, and that was just way over my head. But I was doing that, and then I did Dave. I looked at his as well, and and I don't know. I think he wanted over 200 keywords and all. It was just like craziness. So then when I went to April, she just says, no, no, no. Let's just take all that away. So all the pressure went down to, and we started over because my ads weren't doing anything. I was just like in a panic, and it was just throwing spaghetti on the wall, right? Oh, it was horrible. And so we managed at five, and five was so comfortable. And I think at another point, I did take her class again, and we managed it, and one wasn't doing as well. So we paused it and then did another one. Now I know how to look at them, and that's what she'll teach you. And before I just didn't have that skill. With Brian Cohen, it was more like do it, do it, do it. But then okay, you have it, now what? So it is a
Right.
good class, and what I really liked about it is that she will take individually amongst the group. You have and you open it up, you show her, and then you guys walk right through it. So it's a good class. It's a handheld class. So that's what I liked.
Yeah. Yep. And as we get towards the real meat of the class, if we need more time or we need like an extra drop-in session or things like that, we'll do that. I really want you to be successful. That's really the main point, is getting you to the point where you can manage your ads through this busy holiday season. Thank you so much for sharing your experience there, Victoria.
That's encouraging. I needed to hear that. Thank you, Victoria. I
Oh, you're
also
welcome.
I also wanted to ask, so my next book hopefully is going to drop in September. So I thought I'd start with the one book I have. Can I switch over to another book?
Of
during the
course.
class, or do two?
Some
how does
people
that-
come and join the class and they've got 5 books. And so
Okay.
yeah, so we're spending time learning how to do ads, and you're going to be able to manage them. Like if you've got multiple books, maybe that you're creating an ad that's more of a brand ad, and I'll show you what that means. And some of the things that I would say in preparation for really working on analyzing and adjusting your ads and creating ads that are going to perform well is at the beginning or now start to think about putting some video ads together. So videos, if you need help knowing where to find someone who can help with a video, that would be, I can help you with that. We can talk through some of that. The other thing is, so having a nice video, having some, your listings at a point where you can really, that your cover is solid, your description is really good, because those things, without those things being good, you've got A+ content on your listings. Like really take the time now prior to the class, which starts on the 13th of July, to really get things solid. And we'll go through that, and I'll evaluate during the first class, I'll take a look at your listings and even assess them and give you some tips. But better, even if you want to post a link here, I'm happy to hop in, take a look. And I've been working with my AI tool so that you can actually give it the information, and it does a 10-point assessment of how your listing is, what kind of things need to be improved in order for the listing to be really solid. So it's a little thing you can even plug into my AI, and it'll give you all the feedback you need to get everything in good shape before the ads really kick off.
Okay. And what time is it? You said 7:13. What time? And I know you're Eastern time.
Yeah, so we're going to do 1 p.m. Eastern.
1 p.m.
So, and I have one individual who would like to do an evening class at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I said, I don't mind adding an extra session as long as we can get at least 3 or 4 people in it. Right now, I just have him that's interested in the evening session. So if you are someone that would prefer an evening class, then just let me know. And that way I'll extend the offer. Otherwise, I'll just keep it to 1, and I'll work maybe one-on-one with this gentleman who wants to do the evening meetings.
Could we do both?
Yeah, you can absolutely do both.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, as long as there's plenty of room. Like if I try to keep the group no more than like 6 people or so, because it really needs to be hands-on, and it needs to give me time to, if somebody says I'm struggling with something, or hey, I think I'm stuck on creating this ad, I want to be able to stop, let them share their screen. And the meetings are 90 minutes. So we meet every week. If I've got 8 people or more in a class, it's hard. So I wouldn't let people drop in or like come in if they were in the evening session and then they're dropping into the daytime, because if it's already full, I wouldn't do it. But if the evening time is smaller and it has an extra room for you to say, hey, I want to come to the evening one too, absolutely, you can do it. I don't mind. As long as we keep the amount of people low. Okay. And if you're a returning student that's already gone through the ad program with me, then I'm offering a discount. So that will be, I'll put it out there for 50% off. So the price of the ad course is $599. That's what I charged when $599. That's what I charged when it was 8 weeks. And I extended it as my gift to you. Happy Christmas in July. For those that want to participate, I extended it to 12 weeks. So 1.5 times, the time with me, and I did not change the price. So I just really want it to be high value, and I'm okay with that. So, and if you're a returning student, you'll pay half that fee for, if you've already gone through the course with me before and you just want to attend, you already have some background and knowledge, but you want to make sure that you've got the ability to do some hands-on stuff with me, then come on back and we'll work through it together. Great. Edie, what have you been working on? It's so nice to see you here today. Do you have any questions or things that are coming up for you?
Actually, I did. I put it in the chat and someone else has a similar question.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
working on my manuscript and I was wondering how important is it that I allocate time to start establishing my platform? I
Mhm.
just am working on launching a YouTube channel
Okay.
and I'm going to focus on algebra for students who have ADHD, which is the
Right.
topic of my book, so that
Hmm.
I can start building uh, an email list of people that have that for us as a specific interest.
I love that. And I know we've been meeting and coaching on, kind of rounding out and taking your manuscript to the next level. And I love your ideas. I think this is going to serve people really well. I think that starting your YouTube channel, one of the bits of advice that I will give you is that, your first probably 20, 30 videos are not going to be the ones that you're going to look back at and go, I nailed it. So you might as well get started early, you know, because and start practicing, and you can start recording yourself. You can play around with also making sure that your equipment, the camera, the way that it shows, just getting used to recording yourself and trying different things. That's a great opportunity. And it's really important that people start to get to know you. So your author platform can be some of the initial things you do on YouTube, and setting up your YouTube, setting up one or two social media platforms. I don't know if you like Instagram or Facebook, or if you're just going to focus solely on YouTube, but it's definitely time to start letting people know who you are, what you're doing. And yes, give yourself time to ease into that and practice. I would love to have you, if you need some help or whatever, just set up some time with me and we'll go through and work
Okay.
through some of the things I've learned with YouTube that I'm by no means a professional, perfect at it, but I can certainly help a newbie that doesn't have as much experience as I have with it.
Okay. Because see, the thing is, I already have over 7,000 followers on Facebook, but they're all
Nice.
from my old content. None of them, math doesn't resonate with them. They
Got it.
just want to know about neurodivergency in general. They're not a specific audience for my book.
Yes. Well, I have a couple of things for you. First of all, YouTube is such a fantastic platform for people looking for solutions or information about things. And, I think you'll find an audience there. The other thing is, I have Dale Roberts, who is going to be joining me on Monday's Marketing Monday session. And he's going to be talking about the new book he just released about YouTube and how authors can use YouTube to help, market their book and to build their platform. So I would definitely, if you're not registered already, go on to my website at selfpubmadesimple.com, and the upcoming events will be there. You can register for that event. It's going to be a really good one. Dale is always a great person, and he's been a YouTuber that's always at the top of the list, and he does a great job. So you'll have an individual you can also ask additional questions on Monday.
What's the website again?
Let me just go ahead and put it into my chat.
Thank
It's
you.
selfpubmadesimple.com. That's my website. And then upcoming events. So you can go there or just click on the link that I posted, and you'll see the email with Dale. If you're on my mailing list, you probably have already seen that, because I do send out notices of upcoming events and links to where you can register. So you probably have it in your inbox as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do with that. How's the manuscript coming?
It's coming. The hard part is that I want the video to be included with the book. And
Mhm.
so I realized that my writing is going faster than my ability to make videos. So I have like a placard for where the video should go. But I
Mhm.
realized that I need to have skills in speaking on camera and using manipulatives to help them learn. And so I decided
Right.
that YouTube seems to be the best platform, and it's good. I still have over 350 subscribers
Nice.
and like 5 or 6 watch hours off of videos that I made from 10 years ago.
Oh,
So
awesome.
there are still people. I get new subscribers every month, but
Mhm.
I'm waiting, and now I'm hearing what you're saying. It's never going to be that great because I
It's
hear
not
myself when,
at the beginning, and I still look at some of my videos and I go, ugh, I'm never going to be Dale Roberts, or but I have my own personality. The way I look at it is, you may not get a perfect crisp video that has all these different things where it's got b-roll and all this other stuff. That's just not who I am, but I am authentically me, showing up every day to help authors, and I hope that that comes through loud and clear, and that people resonate with that. So be your authentic self, and you will get, it'll attract the people that need you. If you want to share what the name of your channel is, I'm happy to, let's tell people that maybe they're listening to this or stumble around this video, where to go so that they can subscribe and connect with you on YouTube. Are you
hang on.
posting it in the, yeah, once you
Oh,
post
there it
it,
is.
did you press enter? Are you putting it into the chat?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it come up on
Hang
chat.
on. I had to copy it. I didn't know what it was.
No problem. Okay, so youtube.com/Edie Brown, EDIE Brown. Perfect. I will also subscribe and follow you there, and look forward to seeing what you're able to do with that. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much, April. And I'm sorry if I'm an amateur at this, but
Oh, we all
I
start there. We all start there. I have a lot to learn every day, and I'm trying to just, what did they say? Get 1% better each time you do something, and before
yes.
long, you're, leaps and bounds above where you were to get started. So I'm going to paste it too on YouTube here, your link. All right. Go for Edie Brown. There we go. Awesome. So let me see. I have a couple questions in the chat here. Rosalie says, my book is not yet published. I'm waiting for the illustrator. Edie, I have the same question, manuscript ready, but not the complete package. Should I establish a platform now? And the other thing is, establishing that platform is one part of your author journey. It's part of the marketing journey. So there are so many things you can do when it comes to marketing, that while you're waiting for things to come together, you can be, number one, let people know that you're writing a book. If you create a social media page, go to your personal Facebook or Instagram or whatever you have and say, hey, guess what I'm doing? If you want to follow along on my journey as I write my new book, here's the link to where you can follow me on YouTube, or where you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram, whatever you're doing. Let people know, and then start collecting the followers every now and again. Go, as you're working through things, share your journey, and you'll find people really interested in it. So things like, hey, I've just got a sample from an illustrator, or I've got 2 samples I'm evaluating. Which one do you like better? If as you're writing and you're struggling with working with an editor or whatever, and you're struggling, or you're just like blocked, you can share that and, turn it into a funny meme, or just share a quote that you really love. Share a little bit about why you're writing your book that you are, and what you hope to accomplish, and start finding your target audience. Get really familiar and really reflect on, who are the people that you're writing for. For example, I just turned over my manuscript to my editor, and it's going to be a new manuscript in the Little Labradoodle series, a new book, and it's focusing on grieving and loss and helping children move through that. So in this version, the little Labradoodle is, going to a reunion of all the Labradoodle puppies that came from this particular breeder that we worked with, right? So I kind of go through all of that. But anyway, so there's a doodle run and a doodle reunion, and he finds that his nanny dog that helped to raise him is getting really old and really slow, and he's noticing that. And then he wakes up the next morning and she's passed. And so that dealing with that loss, and and there are many children that have to deal with loss all the time. So I wanted to incorporate different things that children struggle with in their life, things like bullying and things like self-esteem. And so each one of my books in the Little Labradoodle series focuses on something like that. So you're gonna start seeing things on my social media that talks about grief and loss, and talks about my why, and talks about, and maybe shares some information about it, maybe some quotes that will help about resilience, or about listening, the power of listening to somebody, or just sitting with them and not necessarily having to have all the answers. So those kinds of things, you can just build people up, and they follow your journey. They want to hear more. And when it comes time for the book to come out, you're going to have those people that will be very interested in following your thoughts and rooting for you as you work through the process. Rosalie, I wanted to ask you about the situation also. I'm just going to bring you up for a second. So you said that you are at a point where your manuscript is it in the hands of your editor at this point?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
yes. Mhm.
So now when you say you're waiting for your illustrator, do you already have an illustrator picked?
No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting to pick one. I haven't. I know
Okay.
you have illustrators, and
Mhm.
Clarissa that I'm working with, she has illustrators as well. So I'm gonna take a look at everything. And you taught me something very interesting in one of the previous Q&As that I sat in with you, as far as find the illustrations or the style that you want, and then find the illustrator that does that style. So I took that to heart. Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
looked yet. I haven't looked yet. So I am going to
Okay.
tap you for those as well, because I want to take a peek at everything.
Well, one of the things that I would recommend doing while you're waiting and while you're going through this is really think about one scene in your book, or one, whether it's your character or a scene. And I like to close my eyes and think, what does the cover of my book look like? If I'm, if I'm really thinking, what is going to attract people on the cover of my book? And if I can think about, and if I have no clue, I might just say, oh, I'm going to do character design or something. But what I normally do is I have my authors create a sample request. And it's just a form that gives like, oh, here's an overview of what my book's about. You don't want to give anybody your full manuscript or too much information, right? Because this is just exploratory. So it includes a summary of your book. It includes things like the types of designs that you like. So even if you're just taking a screenshot of covers you like, or styles that you like, that snap a picture of a book and you go, oh my gosh, I love this art style. You can include some of that, but then think about and give a little overview of what a sample should look like. For example, I might say for this, if I was doing one for this book here, actually, I'm going to show you one that we did recently. I think this will help. Let me pull it up and I'll share on the screen. Here is a sample request. I walked through one of my authors through this process, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And here, let me see, sample request. Where are you opening? trying to open. My computer's being a slowpoke today. Okay, so what I did, sorry guys, it is slow. Anyway, what you're looking at now is a piece of this. So here is the title of the book. This is what I call the sample brief or sample request. It gives a little summary of what the book is about. It gives a little bit of a description of the character that they're documenting, right? So in this case, Milo, the main character, is an African-American boy with messy hair. He's an inventor. It's similar to the image below that we generated while we were on the coaching call together. We were like, well, I was like, tell me about Milo. What does he look like? How does he have glasses? So how old is he? Right. So you give a little information, but we went through that and used the AI tool to generate the image that was a really good fit. It took a few tries. And then I give it a little bit of instructions. And here it says, we would like you to utilize the art style below, which and I pasted in according to AI what it was. It says it was whimsical, hand-drawn children's book illustration with an art style like traditional media. So what I had originally done in order to come up with this style is we uploaded a sample that she really liked. And I said to my AI, how would you describe this art style? And so that's what it described. And I said, okay, let's brainstorm on, Milo, who is this age and whatever, in that art style, can you create it? And then after a few tries, we got this beautiful image. Anyway, so the mood's playful and fun. We've got this cartoon character, but he is an inventor and we want to put him in the scene. So this is what the AI generated. And when Anne saw it on the screen, she was like, oh my gosh, that's Milo. That's him. And he's in this messy room and he's an inventor and he's, working on this stuff together. This was generated by AI. Now I could have just as easily screenshot something or copied a cover and said, these are samples of the types of art that I like. So anyway, we're saying here, please provide your interpretation of the image as an 8.5 by 11. And basically what we really wanted was this messy room, Milo doing something, fixing things. But I said, don't give me the exact image here, like have him, working on in a room that's slightly different, but give its messiness, we could have just as easily said, have him laying on his bed and reading something, but this is the style of the artwork. This is, who he is, or you could describe the character if you don't have like a nice rendering like this. And that way you give that request, the sample request is created. You give this over to not one, but at least two, maybe three, preferably three illustrators after viewing their work, their portfolio, if you say, and getting some feedback from people, other authors, or, I have an amazing referral list of pre-vetted illustrators that I love and use regularly. And so you reach out to them, give them the sample request. And what you're going to ask them is, I want you to take the time to create this, and you're going to pay them for creating that work. So while your editor is doing what they're doing, you're kind of setting up your social media stuff, your platform. You're going to pay, say, $70 or something for them to create this beautiful style. You're going to do that with 3 different people, give them the same exact instructions. And what they're going to do is they're going to start with a sketch. And they're going to say, what do you think about this? Give them some feedback. Even if you think it's perfect just the way it is, ask them to change this or that. You're going to see how well do they accept and understand your instructions. How quickly do they return it back to you? How well did they actually implement what you asked for? And then they'll go from sketch to full color. As soon as you approve and say, yep, sketch looks good, now let's color it. And when the color comes back, you might say, it's not, when I compare it to my original, or the sample that I sent to you, it's not exactly the same style, which is what happened in this particular case with the illustrator I sent it to. They came back with like a Disney Pixar style. And I said, you missed the mark on the style of the coloring. Do you want a second chance to make it match? And they did, and they came back with a perfect rendering of what we were looking for. So, but we did that with 3 different ones, and she already has selected her illustrator. So now we're working on getting an estimate from them that will be created based on the finished editing. So we will we'll take the finished manuscript and we'll add illustrator notes to it. And that turns it from a manuscript into an illustration brief with illustration notes, maybe some sample things. For example, if you're working with an Indian illustrator and you're asking for a farmer's market, you might want to have a reference picture of what a farmer's market would look like. If you're saying, it's a backyard type of an image, and you're putting that in your illustration notes, you might want a sample of what, like for me, what my New England backyard looks like versus a backyard in India. I don't know, it's very different. You want to just make sure to look at it with the eye of, this person doesn't come from the same area as me. So I want to give them reference images. If you have a child as the main character, what kind of clothing does the child wear? I know that they don't have the same kind of styles in India, so it's good to give them some different, styles of, like, here's the clothing you might want to have. Here's the dog, a picture of the dog that I want to have in the book. We want to model that character, the dog in the book after this one. So those kinds of things, you put it all together, and that's your illustration brief. Then the illustrator gets to take a look at that, ask questions, and then give you an estimate. They'll look at it, they'll go, okay, this is a spread, this is so many single pages, so many little spot illustrations. They put it all together and they give you the final cost of what that will be. And you have an opportunity now to then negotiate. I'm not saying negotiate being, I want to offer you less for your work, but if it comes in high, you have the opportunity to say, gee, that's more than my budget. How can we reduce the price? So one example, looking at that picture of Milo, there was a lot of detail there. It was a very high effort. But if we chose a slightly different style, or initially said, I'm okay with it not being as detailed, if it had a little less detail in the backgrounds, or maybe instead of 5 characters in that on the schoolyard, we'll have 2 or 3. So if you can find ways to reduce the complexity, you can bring down the price of the illustration. Some people will even look at, maybe I want words on one page and illustration on the other. That cut your illustrations in half. So there are ways you can go back and forth and brainstorm on how to that, and you both come up with a final, like, yep, I'm ready to go. Then you want to get your illustration agreement signed. Now, for my group, I have a contract that I paid a lot of money to have created by an attorney. And so I have all of the details and all the things in a contract that I share. And there are some illustration firms that I've done so much work with them, they don't even try to give the author any other contract. They just take mine and they put it all through. And then, so you're signing the agreement and making your first payment, and then they're going to get started. So why not get started on all that pre-work before your manuscript is done? Because there's a lot of stuff that has to be done that could take, weeks to get finished, where if you're trying to take a very long 6-month process and turn it into 12 weeks, that's how all of the work that I do is all about trying to get rid of wasted time and try to make things as efficient as possible. So is that helpful?
Wow, that was wonderful. I have 3 pages of notes.
Luckily, you can go back on YouTube and visit and
Yeah.
revisit all of that again.
Thank you. That was great. Thank
yeah.
you. Thank
So,
you.
and there's so many people waste a lot of time and they have communication issues, and because they don't take that upfront time to do what I'm mentioning, because it's so easy to see something in someone's portfolio and go, oh, I love that. I'm going to select this illustrator. And before you know it, you've already signed, you put money down, but you haven't really validated that that is the right illustrator for you. So that's why I go through the process, because it's about more than skill. It's about, are they going to get the project? Are they going to be easy to work with? Can they understand, or do things get lost in communication? Because that does happen a lot. So sometimes, people are perfect and fine, and they really mesh well with one author, but different authors have different needs. And they don't do well with another. So take the time to really choose, because it's going to be the best money that you're going to spend. And it's also the most important and the longest pole in the tent, right? It's going to really help. It's going to figure how long it's going to take to do your project, your book. The longest amount of time is going to be illustration for children's book authors. So you don't want to make that wrong selection and then at the end be like, oh, I wish I would have given myself more time to select the right person so that I could have done a better job. And we need to learn to be better communicators ourselves, because there are a lot of situations. I was going back and forth with one of my illustrators yesterday, and I'm meeting with them tonight, because they said, this author that we've been working with has been all over the place. We asked for one style, we gave it to her, then she changed her mind and she wanted a different style. We gave that to her. Now she wants to go back to the original, but she wants to change this and that and this and that. And it's not like she did it at the storyboarding process or the sketch process. She waited until the illustration was all the way colored and complete before asking for all the rework. So I'm also trying to educate authors on ways that they can be better partners to their illustrator, because otherwise it can be very, very quick for your relationship with your illustrator, which is going to be one of the most important things that you'll have on your children's book, is that relationship. If you've got somebody that really doesn't want to work with you or that's really frustrated, the art will suffer. So be a good partner. Go ahead, Caroline. Tell me more about your question.
Hi there. I'm in the ideation stage right now, and this is really helpful to kind of hear how to communicate with illustrators and align the creative process with our writing processes. Mm-hmm. And my question is, once we have the manuscript together and have the illustrator and the illustrations kind of outlined, how would you recommend choosing where to print the book, in like glossy pictures versus just regular paper? I know there's a lot of different places that paper can be printed. So what would you suggest?
So are you also considering whether you want to do print on demand versus offset printing?
Yes, I think that's something I'd have to consider as well.
Okay. So if you're talking about print on demand, so let me just explain for those of you that might not be familiar with that word. So if you are uploading your book to Amazon or Barnes and Noble, like their process where they help you to publish your book, you upload the book files that you get from your designer. And then when you upload those files, somebody comes in, you publish, right? Somebody comes over and says, oh yeah, I want this book. They buy it. And only then does Amazon go print the book and then send it to them. So that's what we call print on demand. The benefit of that is that you're not putting a lot of money up front to print thousands of books. You can test the market and see if your title is even going to resonate with your market. So some people start with print on demand as a way of breaking in and publishing with a low upfront cost on the printing side. And then with offset printing, I have an approved preferred print partner in Jenabeth Ortiz, and she is from Jostens. I'll put that in. I'll put her contact information here because she is just amazing. It's Jenabeth Ortiz. Let me see. Jenabeth.ortiz at Jostens.com. And that's Jostens, the one that does all the yearbook printing and all of that. So they are very, they have locations all over the US, and it's a US based printing. I like US based printing because I'm keeping the money here. It's not, and it's also much quicker to actually get the books. So if you are doing China based or overseas printing, I would budget like 4 months to get your books. From the time that the order is placed, they have to go through the process of the printing, and then it also goes on a long boat ride from China or wherever to the local port, and then the port gets shipped to you. And even though you might have really low prices of the books that are printed out in China, by the time it gets to you and you pay for all the shipping and how much extra time it takes to actually receive the books, for me, that's a negative. However, for some people, they love printing overseas because the price can be driven down lower and they're okay with waiting. So, the time frame of how long you have to wait is one thing. With Jenabeth, obviously with any printer, the more copies you print, the lower the price is to get your print copies. The value of doing offset printing, which means it's going to a print press, you're ordering a number of copies. Usually that's at least 500. If you're printing 500 books, maybe you're going to pay $7 a piece. I'm just throwing it out there. It's not an educated amount that I would, but if you're doing 1,000, maybe it's $5 a piece. If you're doing the one individual that I worked with who printed 10,000 books with Jenabeth and had them printed in the US, got the book down to below $3 a piece. It was like $260 or something, $270. But she had to buy 10,000. Now, if you multiply 10,000 times that amount, that's a good amount of money out of pocket. But if it depends on what your goal is, if your goal is to drive your price, your cost of goods down as low as possible, then you should be getting price quotes from the US. So I'd go to Jenabeth. There's also offset printing companies that print in China. Jenabeth also has a company she works with that can give you overseas pricing as well. So you can get both from Jenabeth and, compare, contrast the different prices and then do what makes sense for you. But the benefit, again, of offset printing is very high quality. So you're going to get a choice of multiple different kinds of paper to print on, the thickness of the paper. So you can have like a coated paper, you can have a flat paper, you can have a thicker paper. Some authors have like special coffee table books and they want a really thick, 3 times the thickness of what's typically done because they want a really high quality, thick pages to the book. Some people want fancy things done to the cover, foil stamping, UV, application of it. Some people want to have like a dust jacket that doubles as a poster that people can hang up, right? So you got all these options of fancy things you can do. You can have nice end sheets. You can have dust jackets attached. You can do all kinds of cool things. And working with an offset printer to get you there and to get different quotes is really important. If your main priority is to get your book published and to see whether or not it's going to hit that it's going to be in demand, then it's very quick and easy and it's cost $0 to upload and to have your book out on Amazon or Ingram Spark. So that's what I usually recommend for people that are really budget conscious, is get your book out there on Amazon, upload it to Ingram Spark as well, because Ingram Spark will make it available in Barnes and Noble and Walmart and Target, Books A Million, libraries, and other bookstores that will buy from Ingram. So it distributes to other places outside of just Amazon. So you have a good distribution. What you'll see for profitability, or what we call royalties, if you're going with print on demand, it can be anywhere from $2 to $5 or so, if you're depending on how you're pricing your book. And that's what you'll make from each sale. Now, if you've got, printed 10,000 books and your book is, $20 book, and she only paid $2.60 or so for the books, there's a much higher profit there. But again, much more upfront out of pocket spending. And depending on your on what your goals are, you have to look and assess those things. If quality is of the utmost importance, then offset printing is where you want to go, because print on demand, it's nowhere near the quality. It is acceptable quality, but it's not going to be collectible. Let's put it that way. It is a thinner paper. It is because the paper is a 50-pound paper when you're working through Amazon KDP, and that's just referencing the thickness. If you're on Amazon, not Amazon, Ingram, it's a 70-pound paper. So you'd think that, oh, that would be a thicker and better quality. No, it's not, because the type of paper they use is flat. You can't get it coated to have a pretty sheen to it. And it doesn't feel any thicker to me than the 50-pound paper that Amazon uses. So it's really, if you really want bright, beautiful colors, and you want a high quality book that for the libraries and books that you can go into a bookstore and say, would you carry my books? You don't want them to open it up and go, no, I don't think so. It's just not up to par with professional books that we would normally bring into the bookstore. So you have to start somewhere, but you have to ask yourself those questions on where do you want to start. It doesn't mean you can't go to offset printing after testing the market with print on demand. Is that helpful?
Super helpful. Yeah, gotta
Awesome.
think about the goals now. So thank you.
Order some books from authors that are printing using print on demand. And if you guys want to see some examples of that, I can absolutely put some links to some new books that just launched. And they're doing things through print on demand, so you can get a copy of their hardcover and see what it's like to hold an Ingram Spark version of a hardcover. And you get an example of a paperback, KDP paperback, and you'll have the ability to hold it, feel it, and see what would your customers be getting if you made that same choice. Okay. Let me see what else I have here. All right. Rosalie says, my book is about death and grief as well. Thank you. So the dragon and the pesky fly. I like that. I'm going to have to look it up, Rosalie. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Go ahead, Victoria. I see your hand.
All my questions are right up here. I have 3. Do you see them?
Oh, let me see.
It's 2 above the dragon and the pesky.
Oh, okay. I have 3 questions. Why do we publish the first the ebook, then the paperback and hardbound? I'd like to get all these done so I know it's ready to go. Let's start with that. I have a lot of people asking me about book launches, and I'm going to, let me bring up a book launch that I have going on right now, and it'll give a little bit of promotion to some of my authors that are just launching their books. So let's see, I'm going to have Jojo Finds His Voice is one. And as I show you this, I'll be using it as an example, all right, to talk through this question. So, John Seltzer This is his debut book for a new series about Jojo the platypus. And he is adorable, by the way. In this book, it's about stage fright. And so the author, John Seltzer, is very passionate about teaching kids about the arts. And though this is the first book in his series, so you can see here right now, his book is on pre-order. It is the first thing that I typically recommend we do. Now, it's 99 cents. So if you are interested in being a part of watching this unfold, he is also looking for launch team members and that are interested and willing to follow his journey and be part of his launch team. So the first thing I tell people is when you're preparing to launch your book, get a launch team, because my target is usually, say, 100 people. And you might say, oh my gosh, I don't even think I know 100 people. You do. You have family, friends, you have other, and your target, think about your target audience. So in this case, music teachers, people that are passionate about the arts, his neighbors, friends, family, right? He can get 100 people on a launch team. What does that launch team need to do? I'll show you the launch team sign up form in a little bit later. I don't want to get sidetracked, but the launch, what that launch team is going to do is they're going to purchase his book for 99 cents. And so $1 out of pocket. They're going to be like one of the first people to see a copy of the book. So they get some exclusive benefits there and get some goodies from him, maybe some stickers and other stuff. So they're going to get that for participating in the launch. But by purchasing a 99-cent ebook, that is a sale. So if he has 100 sales, 100 people on his launch team, he has 100 sales over the course of, say, a week or two. That is going to make him an instant bestseller. And it's very easy to get 100 people that are willing to spend 99 cents. So this part right here, he's at #1 new release, and he hasn't even sent an email invite out to people yet. So he's a #1 new release. He's #1 in Amazon Hot New Releases as a result of us setting up the pre-order and asking a small number of people, like the people he knows, not even a launch team yet has been engaged, but here it is, #1 Amazon Hot New Releases for children's nonfiction music books. So this is a cool opportunity for him. The other thing that happens with the launch team, let's say he's got 100 people. I think he's going to have a lot more than that, but if he has 100 people that are sign up on his launch team, the launch team is going to buy the ebook for 99 cents. Now, if I go back to this listing, we're going to see that right now it's on pre-order. It's going to go live July 22nd. What that means is it goes from a pre-order to actually delivering the book to the people that bought it. So from that moment on, the real focus to the launch team is, please go review the book now. Go read it and review it. So let's say only half of his people do that. He ends up with 50 reviews before his print books ever launch. And remember that your ebook and your print books are going to be connected. Right now, we haven't published his print books. So his paperback and his hardcover are right now waiting for Ingram to review and send it back to us so we can approve it. But once we do that, it's going to be connected. It's all going to be linked up, and people will click on the paperback and the hardcover, and they'll see those are on pre-order as well. They're not going to go live for another couple of weeks after the ebook. So after the ebook 22nd, that the ebook gets delivered, that from that time, that rest of that week and the week following, our focus is going to be review, 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 please. And focusing on the fact that there's pre-orders out there for the print books, right? So while the reviews are happening, now people that come to his listings are going to see, wow, there's 50 reviews, and these other books, the paperback and the hardcover, are going, they're on pre-order I can get those on pre-order, and we can then, once we start seeing these reviews come in, we can start running ads to the pre-orders, and they'll see, oh, this book is going live, next week. It's got 50 reviews. Look at this. It's beautiful. I'm going to order it. And while we're running ads, the ads are going to get the book indexed for all of the keywords you've got in your 7 keyword phrases. I also tell my authors to get a list of other books that are similar, maybe in this, give me 10 books that are in the same subgenre. So music books, books about opera, books about conquering fear or stage fright. We're going to drive ads to those 10 books as well. So in other words, when somebody is looking at one of those popular books on music, his ad could pop up there. We're going to have a video ad also, so that we can see some movement and something that's going to capture people's attention and let people know this book is out there. We're going to focus on the keywords like his title of his book, his author name, the subtitle, the series name, and important keywords like that maybe we didn't have fit in that 7 back-end keywords. So we're going to get things popping and rolling so that by the time Christmas comes, he is doing fantastic. And we just continue on the upward spiral of the popularity and knowledge of the ebook and the print book and all of that. So if we were to just put everything out all at once, it's not on pre-order, we just populate everything. Now the author's trying to get people to know about the book. They're trying to get people to buy the book. Everything's already out there. There's not that like easing into things, engaging with a launch team that's going to go out and buy your book. And it's only 99 cents. So what I usually tell my launch team is I'm going to ask you 3 things. Buy the book for 99 cents. Review the book when when it goes live, and please tell people about it, or share it on social media, whatever, like help me spread the word. Those 3 things I ask. And what I do for my launch team as a result of that is they're going to get early access to the book. They're going to get some goodies from me. I usually do also give them a $5 discount on the print books. So they spend $1, they get $5 off, and they're going to get a signed print book as part of that, with a discount of $5. So it's fun. I incorporate some fun and continue to grow in this launch team you grow now, or that he grows now, is also going to be tapped and say, hey, you did a great job helping me on my first launch. I've got a new book. Are you in for this one too? And so you're building that fan base and you're getting people on your email list. There's so much that easing into the launch and stacking it like this is going to kind of flow really nice and easy.
Okay, so what I guess I'm confused about is he has it as a pre-order for July 22nd, but did you say this is going to be out at Christmas?
No, his print books. I'm just saying that as from here to Christmas, right? He's releasing this book, then in 2 weeks or so after the paperback and hardcover come. And he's also ordered some offset copies, and we're working to get those populated with the distributor Pathways that I work with. So then he's going to have like high quality 10 by 10 versions of his hardcover that are going to shortly thereafter be available on Amazon and on Ingram, but it's going to be the offset copies. So we're easing into all this. By the time all that happens, we're approaching, September, October, November, which is when all of the people start buying for Christmas. So it will end up having a great build up towards Christmas sales as well.
I guess my concern is that I've heard, I think in your discussions too, that Amazon will not take very lightly on you if you don't meet that date. In other words, it's something, if you say one date and you don't honor it, and then of course these people are out, then Amazon may drop you there. But so my question is, if I am going to release to my launch team a book on August 19th. When would I do a pre-order? What would my pre-order date be?
I
Would
would
it be
back
August
it
19th?
up by 2 weeks.
Back it up 2 weeks.
So
Okay.
usually I launch on Tuesdays. So if the 19th is on a Tuesday, I would
Yes.
back it up by 2 weeks, and that's the date you want your ebook to go live.
And the
Now,
ebook would only be the cover.
right, and I'll talk about that in a second. Hi, Kelly, thanks for joining. I know I'm running a little bit over. I hope you can bear with me for just another 5 minutes or so, 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, no
So,
problem.
thank you. So, if you're kind of looking at building your schedule, you know when your print book's going live, back it up by 2 weeks and make that the date that your pre-order goes live for your ebook. Now, back it up again another week and a half or so, or week because what we want to do is we want pre-orders to happen prior to it going live. We want like a week or two of pre-orders. Why? Because look at this. We just put this on pre-order and he's already a #1 hot new release. Why are they even counting a hot new release? Because they're counting pre-orders as sales. So he's actually going to be a bestseller before this ebook ever releases. So he will be an Amazon bestseller, a best-selling author. This will be a best-selling book. And once that happens, forevermore, you are a bestseller. Even though it might go away in a week and you're no longer the #1 in that category, it's still a great opportunity for you to let people know that you hit bestseller. And it was thanks to people who were passionate and who helped you by being on your launch team. And you can use it for marketing purposes. You can have a press release go out to all of the media in your area. Local author hits bestseller status on Amazon, right? And you can get more press, more media coverage, things like that. All of this is meant to help build up what happens with, your actual launch. So if you can get good at doing this, you're going to find that you're going to have a lot more opportunity to not just launch to crickets, right? So we don't want to launch to crickets. Get those 100 people or more on your launch team and be systematic about how you're doing things. And before long, as you're releasing one book after another and your fans and friends and family get to see the process you're following, they'll be expecting it. They'll be like, yeah, I'm ready when you're ready. Let me know when the kickoff is for the launch team. I'm going to show you one thing here. I'll stop sharing for 1 minute while I pull up the form. Let's see. But people will say to me, okay, how do I go about coordinating this book launch and getting people on my launch team? So I have a template that I share with folks that I work with, and I'm happy to share and with you guys. Let me pull you off here, Victoria. It's just a book launch form. Let's see, forms. And it's Google form, right? And it's nothing crazy fancy. So here, when I worked with the author, I said, if you want me to handle your launch, I can just do this, I'll use my launch team form. So I created this launch form and I'm going to share here in the, let's see, make it shareable. I'll put a link here and I'll hope that if you really want to get familiar with this, you can follow this form and sign up to be a part of his launch team. You're going to get all the sample emails that I send. You're going to see the whole process and you're going to learn for yourself and you're going to help an author launch a book to a bestseller. It's going to be great. It's a great, beautiful book. I've seen, what we've put together and it's great. So here it just gives I just put this little image from the A+ content we put together for him. And it says launch team, Jojo finds his voice. I'll zoom in a little. Thank you for your interest in being part of Jojo and launching the book. It's easy to participate. We're thrilled to have you on the launch team, but here's the 3 things I want them to know. They're going to pre-order the book for 99 cents between July 15th and 16th. And this helps us get noticed by Amazon and might even help us reach bestseller status. Then the second thing is you're going to read and review the book when it goes live on July 22nd. So I'm asking them to pre-order the book on these two dates, 15th and 16th. They're going to get emails from me. Once they join, they're going to get welcome, like thank you for joining. But then the next email they'll get from me is, hey, it's July 13th. 2 more days. You're going to have your book, your ebook will go live. And I'll remind you one more time when it's time to put your reviews up. The next email I send is going to be, hey, we're live. We hit bestseller. Thank you for all the help. And here's the review link. Go put your reviews out there. So that's going to start tallying the reviews. We might have to remind them one more time if people are slowing down. Read and review the book. So around the July 22nd and the week following, we're going to be just calculating, following along, making sure people are reviewing the book. And number 3, help us spread the word by recommending the book to friends, sharing on social media, those kind of things. And then I try to make it clear in this form. This is what you get. You get to be one of the first to receive a copy of the ebook. You get my endless gratitude, be the first to get a high quality signed print copy of the book at a discount. Satisfaction for helping me reach #1 Amazon bestseller. We're going to do a launch team celebration. He'll probably pull some raffles and things like that. And of course, the most important thing is good karma. And let's face it, we all need some of that. So I try to give them like, here's a little bit of what you can expect. And then if they read all that and they go, yeah, I want to sign up, then they just give me their first and last name. Do you agree to review the book during launch week? Yes. Can I add you to my mailing list? So this is another way that you can add 100 more people to your mailing list. Yes, they will, or no, maybe they don't want to be added to the mailing list. So either way, and then what's next? You'll be hearing from me by email with clickable links to the ebook when it's time to review. I'll send you another reminder. I'll keep you informed about our progress toward the goal of making JoJo Finds His Voice a #1 bestseller. And of course, to let you know when the beautiful hardcover books arrive. Thank you again for your support. Watch for your email for sneak peeks of the book and more fun stuff. So this, if you follow that link, you can sign up to be part of this and kind of follow along and learn how this launch goes. So maybe you can use it for one of your books as well. So yeah, go ahead and click on that. I'm just going to also, I pasted it into the chat here on Zoom. I'll paste it also into my YouTube as well. If I can find where that went. I hope I didn't close out on my YouTube folks. Okay, so that's, for the launch there. Now, the other thing you asked, because you had a few questions here. Let me make sure I got it right. So when you mentioned if you don't meet the date, Amazon doesn't like that. So what we're talking about is if you put your book up for pre-order and you don't upload the interior on time and make sure that it's published, that it has the data that it needs to publish on time, Amazon will send you a nasty email saying your ability to create pre-launches is now suspended for 1 year and all of your pre-orders get canceled. So you don't want that to happen. You want to make sure you note when you need to upload your interior by. And if you start getting close to that date, push out your pre-order and make it, make sure you don't just forget about it and then everything gets canceled, because that can happen. As long as you're organizing yourself so that you make sure you upload your interior, meaning the actual ebook content in time, then you're good and you don't have a problem with Amazon. If it does happen and you get in your ability to do, pre-orders is canceled, then you can appeal to them and say, I'm so sorry, this will never happen again. And they'll go, okay, we'll give you this one chance, and they'll take that restriction off of your account. Unfortunately, it's not going to help you get your ebooks back. It's the pre-orders are gone. So you might have to send out some emails and say, whoops, can you please help me? There was a glitch and I need you to to go order the actual ebook or the print book, whatever. So you don't want that to happen. That can be really nerve-wracking. So just keep track of the date that you need to upload everything by and just manage that carefully. You can always move the date out, but they won't let you move it out more than twice. So just keep those things in mind. All right. What else did I have here? Lastly, Ingram Spark. I think I figured it out, but I'd like to get a proof copy before I approve the book for publishing. That's a good idea. Yeah, I always do. So yes, you can create a print copy for yourself and have the book sent to you. I'm going to go in.
Right. But it was the formality. It's not that easy. With Amazon, it's easy because it'll say, do you want to proof it? But with Ingram, it's hidden. So I watched several YouTube videos, different people trying to do it. And at the end, and what I grasped is that where you do, when it says you approve the proof, you don't do the first one, you do the second one where it says you approve it, but for not to go out is for your own personal, and do not push enable distribution until you get that copy. Then you can go back and enable this. Because I think that's how I'm figuring out.
So it's really funny that you ask, because I just logged into John's Ingram, and I see that the book is awaiting our approval. So we uploaded everything, we submitted it to Ingram. So it's awaiting approval. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to click approve, which sounds crazy. It's like, oh no, I didn't want you to approve it on me. No. It's just giving you access to the proof copy. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to download a proof of this. Excuse me. So the copy that it's downloading for me is just an electronic copy. So let me pull it up.
Down below it says, do you approve it? And it's the one I'm going to select, most likely would be the one under this.
Correct. And I'm going to, what I normally recommend that you do is go in and look at your proof.
Right.
So here we are, we're going in and we downloaded the proof copy. We're going to come here and we're going to look at the electronic version. And it's slowly coming up, right? So here we see the Ingram Spark template. It shows the front and back cover. It looks good. I'm looking for basically any issues that, or anything that causes any kind of concern. I'd be looking for like, oh, did that last change I made make it through to the file I uploaded, right? Those kind of things. But this looks perfect. So I'm going to say back to Ingram Spark. I'm going to come here, and there's 4 options here. Today's Seeds, that's his publishing company, approves the title for printing, distribution, and sale. So if I click that and I move on, not only will it say, yes, it's approved, but it will push it out to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the other places. Well, I don't want to do that because I haven't seen a print copy of the book yet. So I'm going to put the next one, which says, I approve this title for printing from orders placed by my account only. So I'm going to say, I'm going to keep that. These other 2 are like I've got revised stuff. Like maybe I noticed that there's a glitch where the file that I'm reviewing and proofing, whoops, I made another change that didn't make it to this file. So now I got to grab the new file and I'm going to upload an update, a revision. The other thing is it rejects the proof and requests further review. Like there's something wrong, but I need Ingram to help me. Usually we do this, right? We say it looks good, but now I'm ready I want to print a copy to send to myself. So now it says your book is ready to order. So I clicked, approve, and now I can place an order. So I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to place an order for this book to be sent directly to John. I'm going to add the product, which is approved, add to the order. I'm going to put his address in here, add to the order. And I don't know why they force some return address here.
I noticed above it still has that enable distribution, that little right there.
Yep.
And that's still okay.
Watch. So I'm going to select the print location. So it's a US based.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and watch what happens here when I continue. Now it's showing me the order. He's ordering 1 copy of this particular paperback version on Ingram. It's got the basic printing. So it's $8 to get his author copy, including shipping. And now I'm going to say yes to using the card on file. And by the way, I already told him I was going to do this on his behalf, so I'm not doing anything he doesn't expect. Now, if we go back to the titles and we look at the title, you'll see it says title is available. So it's approved. This one's approved. It's available, but there's this little, I don't know, little globe.
Yes.
That is the indicator that I'm going to approve it for distribution. And when you click on that little globe, that's when, after you receive a hard copy and you go, yep, this looks good, I'm ready, then you can say enable for distribution, yes. So you can
Thank
do
you.
that
Thank
here. So that
That
would be
is
the
the
second.
last piece I needed. Yes.
So
Okay.
that, voila, perfect timing. And I've gone way over my time. So I'm going to graciously, if you have other questions, come back or post them on the recording on YouTube. Post them there and I'll keep answering things that we didn't get to. But I'm going to welcome Kelly and I'm going to say goodbye to our friends on YouTube because we're
Thank you.
moving into our Canva and design class with Kelly. All right,
Thank
and
you.
thank you guys. Hold on one
you.
second here. Make sure that I end the live stream. So goodbye, everyone on YouTube. I hope you come back and share your questions, post your questions. I will answer them all. And if you want to show some love, if this has given you value and you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers and I'm, a few hundred away. So do that and comment if you found value or if you have additional questions. Come back next week. We